it's a fascinating topic, kind of point of conversation. And you're right. I mean, listen, the reality is if the Knicks are going to surprise teams and be a top 6 team, top 5 team, qualify for the playoffs as opposed to play in, they need a productive Julius Randle. That doesn't mean they need Julius Randle averaging 22 points, but they need him contributing defensively. He's a good passer. He's a good rebounder, and they obviously need him defensively. And just as importantly, they need him to, as you point out, look like he wants to be there. The technicals with the refs, I understand that. He slaps the iPad out of the assistant coach hands. It happens. Arguing a lot of good players, Jordan and you name them, would get angry and get upset, and that boils over from time to time. If anything, you would hope that energy and that frustration would manifest itself in increased defensive intensity and effort. And to me, that's what was sorely lacking last season. And to speak directly to my conversation with, the questions I asked Tibbs, was just basically what I found interesting was Tibbs and his consistent defending of Randle last season. And is it surprising? Initially, definitely not. Some guys need to be kicked in the butt and called out publicly and dragged through the mud to kind of get, focused. They don't self-motivate, or they, instead of reacting positively, they'll kind of go in a shell. So, the head coach will treat them with kid gloves. They'll snap out of it, and that'll kind of manifest itself. It happened in December. It dragged into January. Tibbs still defending him. End of January, Tibbs still defending him. February, the funk continues. Tibbs still defending him. At some point, I think we all were wondering, okay, and at the same time, Tibbs is calling out Obi Toppin's defense. If IQ misses he said, I think RJ Barrett, something about not practicing during the All-Star break. So he wasn't afraid to call out certain players. But we know with Randle, which made me think, again, just an assumption that there was something going on behind the scenes with Randle, and Tibbs was aware of that. So we didn't want to push too many buttons, and, hopefully. And also, Tibbs won Coach of the Year in large part because Randle wasn't just great. He was fantastic.
Incredible. He was incredible.
Yeah. Top 10 player in the NBA, second team All NBA, one of the best individual Knicks seasons in my lifetime. So it really was a remarkable, and Tibbs understood that. He owed him a great deal. I think he wanted to, when somebody plays that well and wins you a Coach of the Year award, Knicks get home court because of it. You have a lot of faith, understandably. All that being said, we went basically the whole season. Tibbs never got on him. So the first press conference, that I had an opportunity to attend, that was certainly something I was willing to. I was wondering if Tibbs had thought about that in the offseason. Like, listen, the way we handled it last year didn't work. Maybe we'll try a different approach. And it wasn't the case. I asked them initially, were you happy with Julius Randle's effort defensively last season? Not the numbers, not the team offense, right, not wins and losses. Just because we know Tibbs tells us he watches the tape 4 or 5 times more than us. So when you watch the tape, and just watching that once was frustrating for Knicks fans. Imagine watching it 4 or 5 times, not boxing out, not helping up teammates, not closing out, not diving for loose balls, just kind of sulking around the court. Did you look back? Were you surprised at that? Maybe you missed it the first time. Just basically giving him opportunity to say we need a better effort from Randle this season because it's important for the team. He went the other direction. It dodged the question the first time. I said, okay, no, specifically about you. He talked about the team defense. We were second in defensive rating and assist and defensive rebounding and rim protection. I said, no, specifically about Julius Randle. Were you happy? Were you content with the effort he put forth on the defensive end? Kind of gave me a word salad, didn't answer the question directly, but he said his team defense, and I quote, was very good. That's going to rub a lot of fans the wrong way. And that's kind of what I wrote about. It's like, I understand Tibbs wants to do that. And if you think it's best for the team, I respect that. He's going to say what he wants to say. But that's a slap in the face to fans that a lot of people watching the stream at 10:30 on a Sunday night before the Knicks have played a game, spent a lot of time and energy watching all 82 games or 75 games, or stayed up late on a West Coast trip for a team that's 13 games under 500. They saw just as well as all of us. Again, it wasn't just about the numbers or his field goal 3-point percentage regressed. That's all. I think a lot of folks are understandable and acceptable. They expected some regression. What Knicks fans, what New Yorkers who stay up to 1 o'clock in the morning for a West Coast game and then wake up at 6 o'clock in the morning to take the 1 train down to, and then and work a full day, they're going to work hard. So they just want you to put forth that effort. They can live with a lack of results as long as they see an intense effort. And that's what they didn't see from Randle. That's why they got on him constantly. That's why they called for Obi, who played with energy and spark. And yes, maybe it's easier to do in 18 minutes a game. But that is what they want from Randle. And I think going into the season, he's in a real precarious position, because if the Knicks struggle, they didn't get Mitchell. There's a lot of fans still upset about that. If the Knicks get off to a 3-6 start, a 5-11 start, they will come after Randle. He's going to be the focal point of the animosity. How will he handle that? We know he didn't handle it well last year. We'll forget the thumbs down again. It's upset. It happens in the heat of the moment. But it wasn't just that. He dodged questions from post game. Didn't go to press conferences. All this stuff adds up. How will he respond to struggles when he hears, "Oh, we want Obi," and he will hear that. You will hear that a lot. How will he handle that? That could determine if this Knicks season go off the tracks early. Do the Knicks find a trade partner? Does it force their hand? That, I think, will be the kind of very, very interesting. If the Knicks get off to a good start and they're 11-4 and they win their first 3 games, and then winning cures all. We know that with every sport. Giants are 3-1. They have a lot of holes, and whatever the case might be. But we're not going to talk about that. We're going to focus on the positive. It covers up. Imagine if the Giants were 1-3, we'd be hearing a lot more about Kenny Galladay's contract.
Oh yeah, no question.
But they're 3-1, so it buys everybody a little bit of time. Focuses on all the right things. Fans are optimistic and hopeful. If the Knicks struggle, that will be a major issue. It could drive his trade value down further and could really complicate things for the Knicks early on the season.